Well then, it's been a while since you guys have seen me. It really has. I really don't know how long, and I don't really feel like counting on my fingers the years. But yeah, I'm back for maybe one more video, maybe more, given the fact that I'll have more time to make them, maybe more. But this is just a video for right now. Like, this is literally a school assignment. But beyond that, let's get into the actual assignment part. So, I'm I believe I was supposed to do something along the lines of a video about a research paper I did, maybe like last assignment. So basically what I did my paper on was the struggles of commuters versus the struggles of commuters versus the struggles of campus students. And I took the side of the commuter because I view them as having more problems. Now, the reason I say this, and I made several points in my paper when I said this, was that on top of having to go to school, on top of the normal struggles that come with going to school, commuters have to deal with the extra struggle of not being able to get there in the first place. At times, of course. You have the struggles of transportation. Some commuters take the bus, some commuters have to get driven around, some commuters take bikes and junk, which means I mean, some commuters have to get and like I said, some commuters have to get driven around, which also alludes to traffic and which also alludes to traffic, which is which would be a bit of a problem, which would still be considered a bit of a problem considering the fact of how late they could possibly get. You don't want to end up late in college. It hurts. But that's one problem. And that's one problem, obviously, being late. And so I also made a few deeper connections. I also made a few deeper connections, and I believe one of them was the fact that commuter students don't really get to be around campus that much. Commuter students don't really get to be around campus that much. They're usually at home, like they're usually at home if they're not in school. Prime example, me being a commuter myself, I don't really get the time to do much considering how much work I have to do in college every day and how much preparation I have to do for the next day. So in order to give myself more time for that, I completely eradicate all other activities that I could possibly do at school. And and that would and then I pointed out that that would mean that I and others like me don't necessarily get to enjoy the full school experience as it would be. Yeah? Y'all know the teachers always constantly say, y'all make sure y'all get the full college experience. Don't just be working and working and working, even though they expect you to work. But um So, and like beyond that, even beyond that point, I made a point saying that I made a point saying that due to the stress, I made a point saying that due to the stress of all this, due to the stress of all this, commuters, due to the stress of all this, having to commute to school, the struggles of commuting to school, not being able to participate a lot in the school setting, all of that culminates into my third point, which being the emotional state of the commuter. I'm saying the emotional state of the commuter because due to all that extra stress that they have to deal with along with the main point of school, along with the main stress of school, that can bring out things in them that are that I should say less desirable. And so like say you was in traffic, literally, like say you was in traffic, literally I'm exaggerating, 30 minutes, and you like 30 minutes late for your class, when you finally get to school. And so you upset because you done missed um a good a good chunk of the class, and you go off on somebody because they just so happen to be like, "Where were you?" Yeah, no. So we don't want that. And so I put in my video, I put in there a rebuttal against my argument where it was like, where it was like, where it was like campus students have their own problems too, and like campus students have their own problems too. Like the problems of commuters could all be fixed if they had better time management, blah blah blah. Um, yes, all of that is true. Commuters do have their own problems. If commuters could manage their time well enough, they wouldn't have these problems. That is completely and totally true. But that is also not my argument. I said, like my basic, like I pointed out, my basic argument was that I feel that commuters have more of a struggle to deal with than campus students, than campus students. So what I said in response to that was, yes, campus students have their own problems. Campus students have to deal with higher tuition. Campus students have to deal with having to pay rent and having to pay for the amenities. I think I can say amenities that they have in their dorms, that they because in order to enjoy yourself, if you living in the dorm, you have to pay for everything that goes in that room. So I feel like I feel like they have that, but I pointed out in my paper that campus students, they all of this all of this would be considered what I called rite of passage in a way, like showing that you can handle being out there on your own in the grown up life, etc., etc. All of this is a part of that struggle, and I specifically pointed out that I said that commuter students have an extra struggle added to that already because of the struggles that they go through before they even get to school. And so after I pointed that out, I went ahead and ended it. I went ahead and ended it by highlighting my points again. I was just like I went ahead and ended it by highlighting my points again. So I was just like I feel like so I was just like overall I feel like commuter students um more of a struggle to deal with because of what they have to go through. They have to go through the stress of possibly being late. The stress of possibly being late. They have like and there's the possibility of them not having enough time to actually enjoy their schooling, and then they won't be able to get like the full experience out of college, as I put it once back in the beginning of the video. And I feel as though all of this culminates into it culminates into a certain state of mind where it's just like I'm too I'm too stressed out to deal with to deal with today, basically. I'm too stressed out to deal with whatever it is that comes my way negatively today. And I suppose that would be my paper. That would be the main points and the explanation of said main points of my paper. And with that said, I suppose this would have to be the end of the video. Bye, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this.